John's got to get up the Instagram camera. If you're new to the show, we got to run different cameras for different forces, so everything's here. So welcome. If you're new to the show, I am aforementioned Dr. Joe Esposito. We're going to be talking today about ways to cut your grocery bill. It's really kind of fun. If you have any questions on healthcare, anything, type it in whatever platform you're on. John and Julia, my producers, will then read me the questions at the break. I'm going to talk for 24 minutes. Then I'll answer your questions, do another 24 minutes, and then they'll read me your questions again. This is an excellent opportunity to have your healthcare questions answered. So whatever it is, type it in. John will get it to me, and we're ready to go from there. So, John, I'm ready to start whenever you are. Ready? We've never used this clock before, so just clap and you ready to go? Okay. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Oh, hang on a second. We got to get the, nope. Oh. There you go. We got a new timer here, too. Okay, so stop it and start over again. There we go. Show John how to do that. Ready? When I clap. Okay. Oh, hang on. Start it again. When I clap. On the clap, we start it. Ready? Hey, folks. Dr. Joe Esposito here. Glad you're with me today. We're going to talk today about ways for you to save money. I feel like Clark Howard of healthcare here. If you're from Atlanta, you know what that means. If you're not, then Clark's a very famous radio show host who does consumer advocate. He's always saving money. So we're going to talk about ways to save money on your grocery bill. How many of you, rhetorical question, have noticed that your grocery bills have gone up lately? Yeah, it's killing you, isn't it? So I got a lot of really good ideas on ways you can save a lot of money and at the same time get healthy. Because here's the thing. Healthy eating is so much less expensive if you know how to do it than what most people eat. So that's the exciting part. You're going to save money, be healthier, probably live longer, have more energy, sleep better, go to the bathroom better, lose weight, brain works better. There's no downside to doing what we're going to talk about today except one. The only downside to doing what we're going to talk about today is that the bad food tastes good. It does. Big companies have a branch called food science. And what the food scientists do is they sit down and they say, how can we make this food taste better? How can we get you, the consumer, to buy more of this product? A good example is something called monosodium glutamate. You've heard of MSG probably? MSG is a flavor enhancer. And so originally MSG came from seaweed and it was okay. It was a small amount and it was just a slight flavor enhancer. So then we realized, wait a minute, we can take bacteria and take bacteria excrement is really what it is. Bacteria spit out these glutamic acid molecules and we can add it to our food and it stimulates the taste buds. It's a flavor enhancer and you want to eat more of it. And food science has learned, it's not a secret, that the ultimate combination of foods that make it irresistible are fats, salts, and carbohydrates. So what would be fat, salt, and sugar in the same meal? How about a potato chip? It's a perfect example. Remember the commercial, can't eat just one? You're right, because it stimulates those pleasure centers in your brain, and you say, I want more. Now, you don't really want more, but you want to get high from it, and so you take more. So it's not a good thing, but food scientists have figured out, well, I can sell a lot more, whatever it is, potato chips or whatever. Now, monosodium glutamate has multiple different names. The first book I ever wrote is called Eating Right for the Health of It, and I have a chapter in there. It has over 40 different names. Autolyzed yeast, hydrolyzed vegetable protein. Natural flavors can even be monosodium glutamate. So it's a little confusing if you don't know what natural flavors. I don't know what they are sometimes. So be careful and understand we're trying to get you to buy more food. And now, if you're eating this junk food, prices have gone up, higher profit for everybody except us, the consumer, but you're getting sicker. So how much money did you really save buying that cheap food? In the long run, you lost money because your healthcare costs are going to go up, your energy level is going to go down, your productivity is going to go down, your social life, your family life, all these things drop because you don't feel good. And yet, what do? You just keep eating it. I cannot tell you how many patients I see on a daily basis that come in. I had a lady come in this week, and she has everything wrong. She actually had a box with a lock on it. And she bends over, and she picks up the box, and she's working the combination. I'm like, this is going to be odd. What's in this box? She opens up full of medications. She goes, I have a son who has focusing disorders, and I can't leave my drugs laying around. So she has to lock up her drugs. I said, has anyone ever mentioned trying to do things to try to get you healthy enough so maybe you can reduce the medication? She goes, I mentioned to one of my doctors, and they said there's nothing I can do. Now, she was overweight. She smoked. I mean, horrible diet. So there's a lot of things that can be done, of course. So prices are climbing more than your paycheck. I don't think that's surprising news. Average grocery trip is now $170. And it's not because you're buying more. It's because what you're buying costs more. So this is pushing families toward cheap, ultra-processed junk foods that just destroy your health and ultimately raise your medical bills. So you're not saving money, you're losing money. The cause, there's a lot of causes: inflation, transportation, supply chain issues, weather problems, animal agriculture, feed, land, processing. These all drive the prices up. There's a lot of factors in here. It's not just one factor. Meat and dairy take the biggest chunk out of your budget. They really take a bite out of your health as well. So, starting out, what if we reduce our meat and dairy intake? What a concept. I'm going to talk about what to exchange them with in just a second. So plant foods, things like rice, beans, organic oats, frozen vegetable, frozen fruit. I was at a store called Kroger the other day. Most people have Kroger around the world, I mean, certainly in America. Big bag of frozen mangoes in a discount rack. And it was $5 and some odd cents. So I bought it. And so what I do now is when I make my morning smoothies with Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, and vitamin D, I'll throw in a couple of pieces of frozen mango, whip it up. Great nutrients. It was organic, fiber, and very inexpensive. So we're going to talk about how to make this all happen as the day goes on here. A bag of beans costs a heck of a lot less than a piece of meat. I mean, you can buy a can of organic refried beans for about $1.25, maybe $1.50. You can't get any type of meat for $1.50. And if you buy a pound of meat, you cook it, the fat comes out of it, and it shrinks. When you're buying plants, that doesn't necessarily happen. So buying in bulk, buy when it's on sale, and especially if it's shelf stable, do that. This is going to be such a game changer for your wallet. I actually enjoy this. If I had to pick a hobby, I like finding ways to save money and eat healthy at the same time. That's probably my hobby. And I love doing that because I get excited if I find something that's a great deal. And the thing is that if you're eating more plants, you're going to reduce your cholesterol, improve your digestion, fight inflammation, and also help you lose weight. So there's not really a downside to doing this. And if you do that, you reduce your risk of what? Heart disease, diabetes, cancer, obesity. Saves you money, saves you thousands in medical bills. You live longer, you feel better. No downside, right? So far, so good. So we're going to talk about exchanges. Take this, exchange it for that. But one swap at a time. You don't have to do it all. Instead of doing cow's milk, let's do almond milk. Let's do coconut milk. Now, sometimes they're a little more expensive, but find out when they're on sale. The good news about plant-based milk is they don't go bad nearly as quickly as animal milks, which is great. You can buy lentils, split peas. In the wintertime especially, I've got one of those, is it one pot I think it is? It's a pressure cooker. And I can make this huge pot of split pea soup, lentil soup, for maybe $10, all organic. Carrots, celery, onions, water, vegetable broth. You could buy vegetable bouillon cubes if you want to, and some lentils. Throw it in there, turn it on, an hour later, I've got soup. And I've probably got 8 meals out of it, easily. So if you're cooking for a family, this is amazing. It's going to save so much money. And frozen veggies are great too. When frozen veggies are on sale, stock up. Make sure you use them, though. You got to use them because otherwise they get frostbite. But frozen veggies are way less expensive than fresh, and they're almost as good nutritionally. Not as good, but almost as good. So a couple of things we can do until I get into the swaps here. Shop the discount racks. I'm the discount rack king. I love these things. If you go to Kroger, they have an area where they have produce on a discount rack, and then they have a separate area, usually by the bathrooms, that has the discount rack shelf-stable things. Now, the good news about this, and I love this part, is a lot of the healthy foods people don't want. So you get to stock up on the discount rack. Now, when you're into produce, make sure you check it, because even though it's on a discount rack, many times it's bad, so you're going to lose money. That's like $1.50 for a bag. Used to be $1, price went up. Price went up 50 cents. That's a big jump from $1 to $1.50. But sometimes you can get papayas. I get papayas, pineapples. Plums work really well. Avocados, they can be a little soft, but not too soft, or else they're kind of wasted. Now, with avocados, if you buy a bunch of them and they're good on a discount rack, you can cut them, cube them, cut them in cubes, put a little lemon juice on them, freeze them. And avocados freeze really well, and they defrost really well. So that's another little trick you can do there. I also like shopping at Sprouts. That's a chain. I don't know if they have it where you are. But look on the shelf, because on the shelf, they're always rotating, especially the fresh produce. You'll find lettuce and other greens and leafy vegetables many times half price, 2 or 3 days before they go bad, before they expire. And so you could stock up, got to eat them quickly. And that's another good thing, is that you have to eat them quickly. So you get to eat more. Otherwise, you put in the refrigerator, go, I don't feel like it. I'm going to have some junk food today. I got to eat this before it goes bad. So the produce has it, the non-dairy section. There always stuff on sale in there. And then by the bathroom again. I don't know why they put discount racks by the bathroom, but they have a discount rack there as well. So if you just did that and nothing else, you'd save so much money. Now, you could also do coupons. I know Sprouts has a loyalty program. You put in your phone number, and every time you put in your phone number, you spend $100, you get $2 in credit back. So you're getting a 2% discount just by joining. And Kroger sends out coupons, I know. I don't shop at other grocery stores usually because they're too expensive. Aldi is great, too. Aldi has very inexpensive products as well. Sometimes they're junk, but Aldi is another high-quality place you can go. No discounts, they already have cheap prices. So Lidl is another place you can go. The big box stores, Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco. But be careful with that. If you buy too much, you're tempted. We're all tempted, right? We go in and say, ooh, look at this. And Costco, those big box stores, the reason why they're so cheap, you ever wonder that? Well, number one, they buy in bulk. But number two, they make a lot of their money on the memberships. The membership is how they really make their profits. The other stuff, they keep it low so more people come and, there's a little profit, but more people come and join. So that's the business model behind that. But I don't care. If I'm getting quality products at a low price, that's all I care about. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about ways to cut your grocery bill, because grocery bills are going through the ceiling. And the good news is that the healthy stuff, if you know how to do it, is going to be way less expensive than even the junk food, which is kind of cool. You just got to know what to do. And we're going to go through that now. We're going to go through the different swap items. And why, and this is a trend, by the way. The Gen Zers and the Gen Xers, they're really getting on board with this. And we're seeing more and more restaurants offer healthy choices. And so if you go to a restaurant, cover up the food, look at the prices. Just next time you go in, don't even look at the food. Look at the prices. Almost all the time, the least expensive thing is the healthiest choice. If I go to a sandwich shop, if I get a veggie sub with extra veggies, well, that's going to be a whole lot cheaper than even a cheese sub or meat sub. I know Publix, I think it's $8.45, I want to say, for a foot-long veggie sub. And it's delicious. Now, I'm not a fan of eating wheat, but every now and then, if I need a place to stop, I'll stop at Publix and get the veggie sub. All the veggies, as much as you want. Little oil and vinegar. It's probably not the best oil. I'll give you that. Little oregano. And that's an amazing meal. So for $8, I can get an amazing meal. Don't leave a tip. Don't have to sit down. It's very quick. Take it with you. Versus the cheapest restaurant I can think of might be $10, $15 for a meal. Another place I like, and they're in the Atlanta area, called Salata. Salata is a salad bar, basically, and you pick whatever you want. You go down the line. They throw as much as you want in this big bowl, $11. Now, I eat a lot. I can't finish it. It's 2 meals for me. So Salata is a good choice, too. Jason's Deli is another favorite. Jason's Deli's got the salad bar. All you can eat one trip, but you can really load up your plate on that too. Those are good choices. So I don't like going to fancy restaurants, I'll be honest with you, because usually the food isn't as good as I could get at Salata's or Jason's Deli. So and I have no affiliation with any of these companies, just to make sure I'm very clear on that. I'm just telling you what I do and what I've learned works so well. But there's so many different things you can do to save money. So if you're going to do cow's milk, I wish you wouldn't. If you're going to do cow's milk, do organic only. Or, better yet, switch to something like almond milk, soy milk, or oat milk. Because cow's milk, I've done many, many lectures on dairy. I'm not a fan of dairy. It's very inflammatory. Many times the cows are fed soy and corn, which is high in omega-6 fatty acids. And omega-6 fatty acids increase inflammation. And if you have an autoimmune disease, or if you're just a human, you want to reduce your inflammation. So switching to a plant-based milk is a much better choice. And Again, cost savings might be a little more expensive, but health savings, immeasurable. And I like talking about the most effective, least expensive thing when it comes to anything. We're talking about food today, but what about healthcare? The most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain is chiropractic care. So I should stop and drop the mic and walk out at that point. Most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain, chiropractic care. How many of you have pain? Raise your hands. I was laying in bed the other day, and I'm in my kind of twilight, and I thought, I bet you if I asked anybody at any time if they can close their eyes and say, do you have no pain in any part of your body, no one could say yes. And if you do, you probably have a neurological issue. So we all have pain. So why not treat the most effective, least expensive way? Chiropractic care. So if you want to make an appointment to come see us in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Go to my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com, book an appointment. I heard a medical doctor steal one of my lines the other day. It's not one of my lines, a chiropractic line. It said, stop suffering needlessly. Holistic doctor. And he said, so many people are suffering because of their diet. And they're killing themselves with their fork. He said, stop suffering needlessly. Make better choices. I said, yeah, you go, Dr. Hyman. That's what I want to hear. And then he mentioned chiropractic as well. So the world of the doctors being divided is really falling apart, which I'm happy with. We're very good at pain management. We're very good at nutrition. We're very good at digestion, getting to the cause of the problem. Other doctors are good at what they do, and that's great. I don't do surgery. I don't do medication. If I have a thyroid removed, I'm going to have to go get medication for the rest of my life. Go to your medical doctor. But for overall health, we want to be your doctor. Normally, the first visit is $940 in my clinic. I've reduced that for you, my listeners, to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. There's nothing stopping you from making an appointment at this point. We've made it affordable, we made it convenient, and we want to find out what's going to be the best course of treatment for you. Now, we might be the best course of treatment. Maybe you need another doctor. I'll refer you out if you need to. So stop suffering. Go to my website right now. Book your appointment, drjoe.com. We accept almost all insurances too, by the way. Car accidents. I teach other doctors how to deal with car accident cases. So you're going to the people I teach. My mother always said, go to your doctor's doctor. I probably am your doctor's doctor. So drjoe.com. Stop suffering. Make your appointment. All right, so let's go through. If you're just tuning in, we're talking today about food swaps. How to reduce your grocery bill and dramatically reduce your healthcare costs. That's a pretty good deal, isn't it? We talked about dairy. I'm not a fan of cheese either, because cheese has a chemical in it called casein. And when casein gets into your colon, it converts into something called casomorphins. Now, casomorphin activate your morphine receptor sites. You actually get high from eating cheese. So people say, I can give up milk, I can't give up cheese. But it's the same thing. No, it's not. Because with cheese, we take the water out and concentrate those casein molecules to create casomorphin in your body, and that's why you enjoy cheese so much. Causes mucus, causes inflammation. If the cows are fed steroids, chemicals, hormones, or injected antibiotics, they spray the food they're feeding with glyphosate, which is weed killer, and so they're eating the weed killer as well. Now, again, is it going to kill you tomorrow? No, it's not. But we're talking about long-term, lowering your health costs, lowering your grocery bills as well. So there are vegan cheeses. I'm going to be honest with you. They don't taste as good as the real thing. I'm not going to lie. So I've had cashew cheeses. I've had almond cheeses. They're okay, but they're not as good as the real thing taste-wise. But as far as health-wise, exponentially better. And here's the thing. You're not going to see somebody overdosing on these plant-based cheeses because it doesn't have the casein in it, converting into casomorphins to stimulate the morphine receptor sites to get you high. Pretty interesting, isn't it? Same thing with yogurt. Again, a dairy product. You can do almond yogurt. You can do coconut yogurt. Look for these things. Look for vegan cheeses, yogurt especially, and milk. Many times they go on a discount rack because they have a shorter expiration date than shelf-stable foods. So look for these things and stock up. It's pretty simple. My favorite yogurt in the world is Sprouts unsweetened plant-based yogurt. It's better than anything I've ever had. So that's my favorite, just so you know. Eggs. If you're going to do eggs, again, with any of these animal products, please do organic only. But instead of eggs, you can do tofu. Now, I know that, airy-fairy tofu. A good portion of the world survives on tofu. And basically, it's soybeans. They boil them and press it, and they get what's called the milk out of it. They get this soybean juice, and they make tofu out of it. Get the extra firm, because silk, soft, firm, extra firm, it really depends on how much water is in the tofu. So I like extra firm. It's a lot easier to work with. And you could I take a little tomato masher, I mash it up, put a little olive oil on top of it. I'll add whatever seasoning I want. I could add ginger, I could add garlic, I could add pepper, salt, and I put it in a broiler, or you put it in a fry pan, warm it up, because you don't have to cook it really. It's not raw like raw eggs. And it tastes great. And you could add peppers and onions, make an omelet with it if you want to. Well, it's not going to fold over. Now, there are egg replacements as well that you can use, and they taste fine too. So you don't have to do eggs necessarily. Butter, instead of butter, if you're going to do butter, please do organic. But you can do extra virgin organic olive oil, coconut oil. Those are better choices for oils. The only oils you want in your life, really, are avocado oil, extra virgin organic coconut oil, extra virgin organic olive oil. That's it. That's all you need. The seed oils, and you've heard me talk about this so many times, the seed oils are so toxic. The soybean oil, canola oil, vegetable oils, they get into your cells and actually cause what's called the part of the cell called the mitochondria to malfunction. And the mitochondria generates electricity and makes the cell work. Your brain has about 20,000 mitochondria per cell. Other cells have about 10,000. 10,000 mitochondria in every cell. And if you're doing seed oils, you're kind of clogging up the works. That's why I want you to go with the better oils. It's a much better choice. Ice cream, I went plant-based 40 years ago, but there's so many plant-based ice creams now. If you have to do it, again, it's a lot of sugar, but go with the coconut ice cream, very creamy. Almond ice cream, not as creamy, but tasty. So if you have to do ice cream, there's better choices. Now, if I took everything you ate and I had you write down everything you eat for a year, everything, I would see a pattern, because I've done this with my patients. And the pattern is you probably eat about 6 to 10 of the same things over and over again. Maybe you have chicken breast. Maybe you have hot dogs. Maybe you have a hamburger, whatever it is, eggs. You're going to see a pattern. I mean, you'll have other foods as well, but this pattern starts to repeat itself over and over again. So a real simple fix is just trade out something you're eating bad for something that's good or better. How about we say that? Not bad. Just make a better choice. I don't want to put bad mojo on food, but make a better choice. So with the scrambled eggs, do scrambled tofu if you want to. Try it. If you don't like it, don't eat it. The nice part about this is I've got a whole list of food here. I'm not going to have time to cover everything I need to. So if you want, and I think you should, send me an email through the website, drjoe.com. I will send you my show notes, my list of foods, absolutely free. It's my gift to you. I don't charge you anything. And I do this because I want to get this information in your hands so you can start making little changes. I know you're probably not going to do everything at once, but make a little change. You know, you've heard me talk so many times about cleaning products, how toxic they are. Even toothpaste now. Fluoride is a neurotoxin. Well, fluoride might reduce cavities, but it can affect your brain. So if you just brush and floss, you reduce the risk of cavities anyway. You don't need the fluoride. So we're seeing more and more awareness coming about. Things I talked about 40 years ago are finally coming to fruition. I remember I was talking to my mother, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago or so about margarine, how margarine is going to be the number one cause of heart disease. And about 3 weeks later, she called me and she said, "Did you see the story on CNN?" And I said, "No." She said, "They said margarine, number one cause of heart disease." And she paused for a second and she says, "I'm not sure if you're a nut or a prophet. I haven't quite figured this out yet." And I said, "Probably a little bit of both, Mom. But all the things I'm telling you, I promise you are going to become mainstream." So if you want it, send me an email through the website, drjoe.com. Happy to send it to you. If you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. If you have any health questions, email me through the website. I'll answer them. I will answer them personally. People say, "Is this a bot?" No, it's me. drjoe.com. I'm happy to answer health questions for you. Anything, because we all have health questions. Follow me on social media. We post every single day, at least once a day, sometimes more. Dr. Joe Esposito. Facebook is the Dr. Joe Esposito. Podcast. Subscribe to my podcast. Do me a favor. I'll give you all this information all the time, every week, every day. Subscribe to my podcast, Dr. Joe for the Health of It. Dr. Joe for the Health of It. And YouTube channel, we have the long versions of what we're talking about here. You have videos of my podcast. So we have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Sign up for our newsletter. Send me an email. I'll put you on a newsletter list. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, drjoe.com. We'll be right back. Okay. That's part one then. So at this point now, John will ask me questions. I will answer them. And then we do part two. That's your cue, John.
Is Sweet and Low Equal and Splenda better choices than sugar? What is the best of those choices?
None. Stevia, Lohan, allulose, those are better choices. All those artificial sweeteners, I talk about the 7 deadly sins of nutrition: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Of the 7, artificial sweetener is the worst for many reasons. If we talk about sucralose, the yellow packet, it's chlorinated hydrocarbon. Chlorinated hydrocarbons can affect your estrogen receptor sites. Okay? The other ones can break down into toxic chemicals that can stimulate the brain. So all the ones you listed are not good choices. Stevia would be the most common, obvious choice, but allulose is another obvious choice too. Lohan, much better. So sugar is better than them. The ones I just listed are better than sugar. So, what else?
I've heard that cutting out salt from your diet is extremely detrimental to your health. What are your thoughts?
Depends on the type of salt. Again, there's the caveats here. I use salt every day. I love salt. Celtic sea salt is going to be your best choice. If you're going to do pink salt, like Himalayan salt, you can use pink salt, but don't get it from China. Because what we're finding is when we test the samples from China, many times that has heavy metal toxicity mixed in with it. So if we get it from other countries, we haven't seemed to find that problem with other countries. China's kind of cutting corners here. So it might be fine. I don't know that. I wouldn't take that chance. White table salt, absolutely toxic. Yes, get that out of your life. But Celtic salt, I use it every day because it has over 70 different minerals in it. So it's good for you. What else?
Is coconut water good for you?
Yes, it has a lot of sugar in it, though, so be careful. But coconut water is fine. I have no problem doing it. I like the kind with the chunks in it. My friend Fred had a lake house, and we used to go to parties up at his lake house all the time. And it's the first time I ever had chunky with pulp in it. Oh, my God, I fell in love. It was great. So, yeah, coconut water's fine. What else?
Is high LDL cholesterol or inflammation a better indicator of your risk for heart disease?
Inflammation. Because you can have low cholesterol and still have a heart attack. You can have high cholesterol and not have a heart attack. So it's not the cholesterol floating around in your blood. It's the cholesterol stuck to the artery walls. And the inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein are going to be much better to indicate how bad the inflammation is. And then the nice part is it's almost always due to diet, and it's almost always reversible by diet. So it's not just the cholesterol I look at. You have to look at other biomarkers, we call it, to really get a true picture. So if somebody says you have high cholesterol, you need medication, I would dig a little deeper. Bring me your blood work when you come in as a patient. I'll go over it with you. What else you got?
That is all.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right. Any questions from the audience? Audience, no question? John's moving me over here so I look good on my new backdrop. Like the new backdrop? Pretty cool, huh? All right. One of our audience has to leave, so. All right, ready for part 2? We'll let her leave first. Grab her stuff. Grab her pure organic coconut water that she's drinking. Absolutely. Good. Okay, good. That's right. You know coming in and out. You know that. So, all right, ready for part 2, John. Just me and you now. Ready? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Oh, hold on one second. We didn't get the clock started. You need Julia? All right, let's try it one more time. Give it a shot. Try it. There we go. Okay. All right. You stop it and start it over again. Ready? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Glad you're with me today. What we're talking about today is, we're good with that. We're talking about today about how to cut your grocery bills and how to decrease your health costs at the same time. How cool is that? So we did part 1 already. It's going to be on our website if you want to listen to it on our podcasts. And the website's drjoe.com. The podcast is Dr. Joe for the Health of It. We store all our lectures and radio shows, folks, so you can always grab them. So we're talking today about substitutions, how to save money. So if you eat chicken every day, how many people eat chicken every day? Raise your hands. A real simple swap for that is like lentils, chickpeas, something called tempeh. Tempeh is a fermented tofu, basically. Now, tempeh, some people love it. I'm not a biggest fan of it. I'm not going to lie to you. Just because it's healthy doesn't mean I like it. But I'll use it in stir fries and things like that as well. But you can have, instead of a chicken breast And you can do something simple like this. Okay, I'm going to have chicken breast every day for lunch. What if I had a can of lentil soup? Organic lentil soup. Now, it's not ideal. It probably has high salt. The can may have some bisphenol A in it, which is an endocrine disruptor, but it's a heck of a lot better than having chicken breast and a heck of a lot cheaper. I have cans of vegetables in my office, in my desk. And every now and then, if I don't have time to grab lunch or I'm getting really hungry or I got to, run out and do something, I'll just open a can and eat right out of the can. And I remember one time I had a can of beans. I used a plastic spoon. I didn't want to scratch the can. And I was putting hot sauce in it and eating the beans right out of the can, cold. And one of my secretaries came in, and she just looked at me. She goes, "Is that your lunch?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "It's a can of beans." I said, "Why is that any different than a hamburger? Better or worse?" She goes, "I never thought of it like that before. It's a whole lot better, a whole lot cheaper." And so I put a little hot sauce in it. So sometimes you have to rethink what you consider a meal. I am not ashamed to eat a can of beans because I know the health benefits of it, and I know the downside if I had to run out and get a hamburger. The cost, the wrapping that they put around hamburgers now, or any type of food really, has chemicals on it, a coating called bisphenol A, and bisphenol A makes it non-stick. And so the stuff doesn't stick together. Years ago, when I first graduated college, I actually worked at a pizza parlor. I had a practice during the day and worked at a pizza parlor at night because I had to raise money to pay my rent. I mean, you do what you got to do in life, right? And I remember the cheese would really stick to the boxes. And then they came out that little square thing, a little round thing they put in a pizza to prevent the box from touching it. But now if cheese touches the box, it slides right off. What changed? We're lining it with things called bisphenol A, which are a non-stick coating, which are very toxic to your body, your immune system, your hormone system. So anyway, I digress. But it's a lot easier to just have something non-traditional, let's say, like a can of beans, than it would be having to go out and get some other food. If you like steak or pork chops, try grilling some portobello mushrooms. Get those big portobello mushrooms. You can marinate them in a little extra virgin organic olive oil and some vinegar, apple cider vinegar, salt, pepper, oregano. Marinate it for a few minutes and fry it up. You could slice it if you want to, or fry it up whole, grill it. Tastes great. Love it. I love mushrooms, by the way. They're so good for you. Instead of white bread, because most people eat bread every day, I want you to switch all your breads to something called sprouted bread. Ezekiel is a brand name. Again, none of these brands I have any association with. Ezekiel is a brand name, but Kroger has their own sprouted bread. Publix has their own. Sprouts has their own. But sprouted bread, we take organic grains, sprout them, which means you soak them in water until they actually start to grow, and then dry it and grind it into a flour. That bread, okay. White bread, horrible. Spikes your blood sugar. Most of the wheat in the United States is sprayed with something called glyphosate, which is a weed killer that actually affects the microbiome in your colon. And the microbiome is your immune system. It's your brain function. We are bacteria. We're just life support for bacteria. And if you start killing off the good bacteria in your body, it's adversely affecting your health and your mental health. So switch to an Ezekiel bread. It's not quite as chewy as white bread. I understand. I like white bread, but I don't eat it. It's not worth it. That's what you have to think to yourself. I say to myself every meal, is this the best choice I can make? And if the answer is no, then I don't make it. It really is just that simple. Make the best choice you possibly can every day. Now, it may not be the best, make a better choice. Let me put it that way. Make a better choice. It may not be the best choice, but it's a better choice. And if you just keep doing that time after time, you develop these new habits, a new way of eating, a new way of taking care of yourself, a new way of living, and certainly slowing down the risk of dying. Why wouldn't you do that? The biggest fear we have in life is death. Some people say it's public speaking. But depending on the study you read, death is the number one fear. And yet we're driving ourselves faster to the grave every day with our fork. Stop doing that. Makes no sense to me. Bacon. Now, you can do plant-based bacons. They have them. It's not as good as real bacon. And I haven't had real bacon in 40 years, but I will tell you the stuff isn't as good. But it helps. If you have to have your bacon, you could do bacon bits. They have eggplant bacon. They have soy bacon. You can try them. They're good. I'm not going to say they're not good, but they're fine. Dinner rolls. again, I love this stuff. Everything on this list, I'm preparing this list, it's like these are foods I haven't eaten in years, but every one of them I love because they taste good. Doesn't mean they're good for you, just because they taste good. So dinner rolls, again, we go back to the sprouted bread. You can get sprouted hot dog rolls. You get sprouted hamburger rolls. They're a little more expensive, and I know today's topic is how to cut your grocery bills, but it's not just your grocery bills, it's your health costs as well. So generally speaking, most of the things I teach you are going to be cheaper. Some will be a little more expensive, but overall, you're going to save money, which is the cool part. If you like rice, and I do, most rice has arsenic in it. So a couple of things I want you to consider with rice. I want you to use twice the amount of water that's recommended. Cook the rice. When it's ready, dump out that excess water. You're going to remove almost all the arsenic. How easy is that? Simple, simple fix. The rice that's lowest in arsenic is going to be California organic white rice, not brown rice. Because brown rice, the arsenic can build up in the hull. So I'm going to recommend white rice at this point, organic California, double the water, dump out the rest, and you've solved the problem. I tell you, there's an answer for it, folks. In most cases in healthcare, I've got the answer for you. Pastas, I'm Italian. This hurts me when I say this. Better choice, go to gluten-free pasta. It tastes good. It's not as good as wheat, but it tastes good. If you want to go to black belt level, you want to do like lentil or chickpea pasta. So all it is ground up lentils or ground up chickpeas. Now, when you grind it up, it's not as good as eating a whole lentil. But again, we're making the best choice we can. I like pasta. I'm not going to give it up. But I'll tell you what to do. Cereal. I'm not a fan of cereal because it's pretty much sugar, some sugar, and some bad oils mixed in. So if you're going to do something like that, I want you to do steel-cut organic oats. Now, steel-cut organic oats, maybe a little more expensive than regular oats, but they spray glyphosate on, again, the weed killer on a lot of the oats. So steel-cut organic is going to be a better choice because if it's old-fashioned, it spikes your blood sugar. Steel-cut's the best. Now, if you want to make granola, usually use old-fashioned. You can take the steel-cut oats and cook it, maybe 3/4 of the way done, and then you could use that in your granola if you want to. Pretty simple. Not really hard to figure this stuff out. You just got to know how to do it. Pancake mix, don't use the wheat. I'm trying to get you off the wheat. Can you see what I'm doing here? They have oat flour. They have almond flour pancakes. I like them with bits of apple cut up because that's how my mother used to make them for me when I was a kid. So cut up some apples, cut up some blueberries, put them in there. It adds moisture to it. Much better choice. The chips. This is a tough one. Okay, chips are designed to make you want to eat more. And we talked earlier, if you're just tuning in, we talked earlier of what makes a food totally desirable. Fat, carbohydrates, salt. Those are chips, by definition. Whether it's corn chips, potato chips, I don't want you eating them. Because when you fry the food as well, you fry the chips, you create a chemical called acrylamides, and acrylamides are linked to cancer. So not only are you spiking your blood sugar, bad oils, the oils are heated, they become more toxic, and then you create acrylamides, which also are linked to cancer. So one of the worst things you could eat are going to be chips. So if I go to a Mexican restaurant, I like chips. Now, for years, what I would do is I would say, don't bring me the chips until I have my meal first. So the chips become my treat. Now I can totally avoid the chips even if they're on the table. I've gotten over my desire for them. But I'll tell you what, if you're good about any of this, cutting out your sugars, cutting out your chips, whatever it is, and you eat one, the brain goes, mer, mer, mer. This is exciting. I'm getting high from it. I want more. So it's better not to eat any. If you have to, if you're starting out on this journey, maybe say I'm going to have 6 chips a meal at the Mexican restaurant. And instead of having beef burritos, have bean burritos. Order it with no cheese. Have guacamole. Make sure the refried beans don't have lard in them. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You got to ask. Do you have lard? Yes. If not, the black beans usually don't have any lard in them. So there's always something. I have never in 40 years missed a meal. I speak at conferences. I've been to major cities. I've been to Las Vegas. I've spoken on cruises as a guest speaker. I've never missed a meal. You just have to change what you consider a meal. Where everybody, I remember one time I spoke at a conference. This was fun. And it was a supplement company. And I was the guest speaker. And they said, we want you to put together the menu. And it was, 500 people there. I thought, wow, this is great. So I did sun-dried tomato basil pesto. I did a gluten-free pasta. I did an avocado mango tomato basil salad. I did a ginger salad dressing. People loved it. Didn't tell them that this is a healthy meal. They lost their minds. Oh my God, this is the best pasta I've ever had. This is the best avocado. It was an avocado mango salad. The best salad dressing. This is a ginger onion dressing. It was so good. Then in the middle of my conference, when I was speaking, I told them that I put the meal together. And almost everybody said, please send us the recipes. So there's a lot of food out there you're missing out on because you never tried it. So chips, do air popcorn. Roasted chickpeas will work as well if you need something crunchy. But if you're going to do popcorn, do organic popcorn because a lot of it is genetically modified. So organic popcorn, air pop it. You can spray on some tamari, which is a high-end soy sauce without a lot of monosodium glutamate in it. And you can put some nutritional yeast on top of it. If you have to use an oil, get a spray bottle and spray on some extra virgin organic olive oil. Just that simple. A little different, a lot better for you. I used to work at a football stadium. I won't say which one in New Jersey for a national team. And we would make the popcorn. I was in charge of I was working a concession stand. And they had these blocks of, they called it butter. And it was just hydrogenated oils with yellow dye in it. And we'd put it in a thing and add the popcorn and pop it out. And it tasted really good. If you've had movie theater popcorn or sports stadium popcorn, it's really good. Flavor-wise, not good for you, though. And I remember thinking, why does this stuff never have to be refrigerated? Even as I was 14, 16 years old. Like, how come this stuff doesn't have to be refrigerated? What kind of oil is this? And later on, I found out why. So we're talking today about plant swaps, foods you can swap to get better choices. Cookies, do homemade cookies if you have to. Maybe use an oat flour if you want to, or lentil flour. Cake mix, maybe use an almond flour banana bread. Oh, remember banana bread? I remember making that in college a lot. Frozen dinners, well, make batches of soup, like I said. Make batches of stews. My first book I ever wrote, and we have it on my website, drjoe.com, it's called Dr. Joe for the Health of It. Eating Right for the Health of It. Dr. Joe's Eating Right for the Health of It. And we have over 200 recipes in there. So make batch foods. We have pressure cookers now. We didn't even have back then. The old pressure cookers back then used to be made with aluminum. And use the stainless steel pressure cookers and make a big batch of split pea soup or lentil soup or marinara sauce or chili and just freeze it in individual portions. Or if you have 2 people, 2 or 3 portions. And in the morning, take it out of the freezer. When you come home, dinner's ready. How easy is that? So much better, so much faster, so much cheaper than anything you're doing right now. Frozen veggies, again, buy the big bags. It works great. Canned beans or dried beans. Dried beans are a little better and a little cheaper, but I'm also lazy. You got to soak the beans and then drain the water off and pressure cook them or cook them. So canned beans are great. Just make sure they're organic. So it's just tuning in. I'm talking today about the most effective, least expensive way to get healthy. And these are easy grocery swaps, ways to lower your grocery bill. And it works really well. If you need recipes, my book, Eating Right for the Health of It, is on my website, drjoe.com. And now with the internet, you could just look up, I want recipes. I had a patient come in the other day with Parkinson's. I had a lot of people come in with Parkinson's. And I tell them, listen, I read a study that something called fava beans or velvet beans are high in dopamine and help lower these shakes from Parkinson's. And they work just as well as medication in many studies. How come you never knew that? So a serving of fava beans every day or a serving of velvet beans every day is a heck of a lot cheaper than medication with no side effects, actually good side effects. High protein, high fiber, high in GABA to help reduce the shakes or the tremors. So why wouldn't you do that? If it doesn't work, take the medication. How about that? It'll work. Usually does. So we're talking today about trying to go the most effective, least expensive way of doing things. When it comes to food, let's talk about healthcare. I have a primary doctor I work with, Dr. Brian Sanders. He's a primary care physician. I refer all my patients to him. And I had a lady come in the other day, and she walks in, and she throws her arms around me. She gives me a kiss on the cheek, and she said, thank you. And I said, what was that for? She goes, I went to go see your primary care doctor. It was a fraction of what my other doctor charges. She goes, oh, my God, he's my new best friend. And he's so nice. So healthcare doesn't have to be mean. It doesn't have to be waiting days and days and days or months to see a doctor. It doesn't mean having bouncing around from doctor to doctor to doctor in most cases. I want to be your doctor. Come see us. We have a team of doctors we work with. But if you want to make an appointment, it's drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Let's get you set up. Let's do an exam. Let's take some x-rays. Let's check your nervous system. Let's check your digestive system. Let's look at your diet. All of that normally is $940. I've reduced that for you, my listeners, to $299. Why wouldn't you do that? And we accept most insurances, so we'll if your insurance pays us, we'll pay you back even. So drjoe.com. Now, had a lady come in the other day. I worked on her. One of my doctors worked on her first day. She came back in. She said, I'm not better yet. I said, how old are you? She said, 69 years old. I said, does anything change in one day when we're 69 years old? She goes, no. I said, you're not going to get better in one day. If that's the case, we can just wrap up the relationship now. You're not going to get better in one visit. We probably have about 2-3 months of service you need. Oh, okay. So make an appointment, drjoe.com. Set up your appointment now for you, your friends, and your family. Stop suffering needlessly. It breaks my heart. Like I said, I went to a party this weekend, and it was 2 parties, actually. And I saw a lot of friends that I've known for 30, 40 years or more. Almost all of them. High blood pressure, diabetes, erectile dysfunction, walking with a cane, on oxygen. Every one of them. And they say to me, how many medications are you on right now? I said, 0. They said, what do you mean 0? At your age, you should be on at least 3, probably 9. I said, 0. Because I try to get to the cause of my healthcare problems, not just treat the symptoms. I have healthcare problems just like you do. I just try to get to the cause of it. I have protocols, and my doctors all work together with me to try to get to the cause. I want to do that for you. So drjoe.com. And at least supplement-wise, please take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. That's the minimum. That's a multivitamin, prebiotic, probiotic, digestive enzymes, helps clean out your liver. I would add 10 drops of Dr. Joe's vitamin D3 to it as well, and I would take a B complex. That's the minimum. That's the starter kit. If you have high blood pressure or you want to have more energy or brain function or even romantic function, Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support. Dr. Joe's men's hormone support or women's hormone support. Omega-3 fatty acids, essential for brain function. I take them every day. You should too, because you have to get them from an outside source. You can't make them. We as humans can't make vitamin C. Other animals can. Did you know that? You ever hear the term guinea pig? You know why they use the term guinea pig? Because some doctor a long time ago realized when he was doing experiments on vitamin C that guinea pigs can't make their own vitamin C, just like humans. So they used a guinea pig to test on vitamin C. And he found that when they had the pure vitamin C, they got better results than when they had the isolated fraction called ascorbic acid. That's why I want to be your doctor. I want to give you all these little health tips and ways to save money. Now, I'm looking at my notes, and I even have a 5-day meal plan here. I didn't realize I even put that together for you. I will not have time to cover all this. If you want a copy of today's notes, a lot of stuff we covered, a lot of stuff we didn't cover, and the 5-day meal plan, go to my website, drjoe.com, and just send me an email and say, what can we call it? Meal plan. Call it meal plan. Just put the word meal plan in the email. I will send you the meal plan. And with the notes and the food swap and everything. Absolutely free. No charge, my gift to you. Why do I do this? All this work I put into these things every day, every week, and I give it to you for free. I do it because I really want to get you well and keep you well. And so if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. You want to get the supplements, look at the supplements. It's in the store section. You have any questions on anything, send it to me through the website, drjoe.com. I'm happy to answer your questions. drjoe.com. Follow me on social media. We post every single day. Do that as a favor to me. I love giving you this stuff. I need something in return. I just want you to follow me. If you don't like it, unfollow me. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. We post every day. Podcast, Dr. Joe for the health of it. Please subscribe to my podcast channel, and you'll get notification. I put out at least 2 podcasts a week, sometimes more, absolutely free. If you don't want to listen, don't listen. And the YouTube channel has my podcast with video. So the podcast is just audio. The YouTube is audio and video. So sign up for both those services. I really want to be your doctor. Send me your questions. I want to help you the best I can. I'll cover what I can. I'm not going to cover all of it, obviously. Peanut butter. Not a fan of peanut butter. Peanuts, except for Valencia peanuts, have a mycotoxin. Mycotoxin is a fungus that can blow out your immune system. So I would recommend almond butter or cashew butter. Again, a little more expensive than peanut butter, but we're talking long-term. Lower grocery bills, lower healthcare costs. Much better. Sugar, somebody asked that before. Do not use artificial sweeteners. The best sugar substitutes are going to be stevia, lohan, and allulase. Now, allulase isn't as sweet as the other ones, but they all work very well. I use allulase in my tea all the time. So do that. You're going to save a lot of money on healthcare costs too. Energy drinks. We have something. It's on the website. It's Dr. Joe's Energy Chewables. Dr. Joe's Chewable Energies. These are chewable tablets. They're made with citrulline, which converts into nitric oxide, which increases your blood supply, and ginseng, which is a natural stimulant and an aphrodisiac. So be careful with that. But two of these chewables are amazing. I was at this party the other day, and all my friends, they're trying to stay awake, and it's here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They're falling asleep already. So I just handed them out like crazy, and people were going nuts. 20 minutes later, I went around, how you feel? I feel good. It's not like caffeine where you're going to get shaky. You just have this nice natural energy. I don't take them at night. I can't sleep if I do. I tried it. But it's a vasodilator, opens up your blood vessels, lowers your blood pressure, gives you energy, helps your brain and your romantic organs and everything work better, and they taste great. So Dr. Joe's Chewables, they're on the website, drjoe.com. Put them in your car. They don't go bad. And whenever you need a little boost, I take them in the morning to start my day because other people have coffee. And then sometimes if I'm going to do a radio show, going to a concert, a lecture, if I have a date, I'll take a second dose. It's kind of exciting that these supplements are finally out. It took me a long time to design them. Bottled water is ridiculous. I don't care how cheap it is. Get yourself a whole house water filter for health as well as saving money. Now, I have a whole house water filter. It's several $1,000s. It's worth it. You're saying, but Dr. Joe, we're talking about saving money. I know. But long term, I look at my long-term investment. I've had this thing for, 10 years now. Love it. So at least get a filter, like a Brita filter or something to filter your own water, and don't put it in plastic. Use glass, copper, or stainless steel. That's how you should transport your water. Stop buying bottled water. It's ridiculous. You want a sports drink because you got to get your electrolytes. Add about a quarter teaspoon of Celtic sea salt to your glass or your stainless steel drinking bottle, and you got your energy drink right there. Add some stevia to it if you want to make it sweet. Add some lemon juice if you want to get crazy. So easy and so inexpensive. Mayonnaise. There is plant-based mayonnaise out there. I would recommend you go to that because the other ones are all made with these bad oils. All right, folks, oh my gosh, can't believe I'm out of time. All right, if you have any questions, again, if you want, send me an email, drjoe.com. I will send, just put, grocery list in there. I'll send you today's show notes. Absolutely free. Make an appointment to come see us. Stop suffering needlessly. The supplements, again, the starter kit, Super Green Essential Source B Complex and vitamin D, plus the other ones. I think I take probably 10 supplements a day. It's still cheaper than going out for a cup of coffee in the morning, a fancy cup of coffee. So why wouldn't you do it? It's way cheaper than going out for a drink, I'll tell you that. So it's way less expensive to get more health, live longer, save money on medical bills. There's no downside to this. There really isn't, but you got to know how to do it. So send me an email. I'll send you this. Make an appointment. Send me your health questions through the website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Thanks for being here, folks. I'll catch you next time. All right. Look at our new backdrop, John. Awesome. Good. Julia to the rescue. Dun, 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 dun. All right. You have questions for me?
Is exercising in an infrared sauna every day healthy for you?
Absolutely. Yes. One of the best things you can do for your health. Love it. What else?
I bake my vegetables in coconut oil. Should I add extra virgin olive oil after baking?
No need for extra virgin olive oil. It's just if you need an oil, but you don't need, it's not necessary. You're doing great, though. Kudos for using the coconut oil.
Are any cereals healthy?
Probably not. Not commercial cereals because they're all basically just sugar, and sugar. If you want to make your own granola, like I said, you can parboil, like make about 3/4 of boiled of the oats, organic steel-cut oats, and then dry it out. Just put it on a tray, a nonstick tray, and let it dry out. And then you could add nuts, you can add dates, you can add raisins or currants, and kind of make your own granola. That would be the only real healthy cereal I'd recommend. Or a muesli. It's got to be organic, but that would be a better choice too. All right, John's checking for more messages here. More questions?
Are piercings okay?
No. You mess with the flow of energy. And it's funny, we used to talk about the flow of chi through the body with acupuncture. And what happens is nerves actually begin and end. And sometimes they're connected through the spine. So if I have, let's say, my gallbladder, which is here in my hand, that nerve goes up into my spine, goes into my spinal cord and synapses or crosses with the nerve that controls my gallbladder. So by stimulating my hand, I'm actually stimulating nerves that go to my gallbladder directly. And that's how acupuncture works. Piercings are not a good idea because, A, you can get infection, which is pretty rare, but it actually affects the flow of these neurological inputs. So I'm not a big fan of piercing, no. Although I did have my ear pierced when I was in college, but I haven't worn an earring in, 40 years. So.
Should I add Celtic sea salt to my dinners every night?
Yes. That's an easy one. Only salt you should have in your house. Or pink Himalayan salt, not from China. And Soleil, which is from Baja Soleil salt is good too. What else?
Should any fruits and vegetables be avoided?
No. I can't think of any of them that are bad for you. No, I'm good with all of them. All right. That's it.
That is all.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. What are you going to do? Follow me on social media. Please do that. I really mean that as a favor to me. And any questions?